The Drachnid Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Sol system, their crystalline ships refracting starlight in brilliant arrays across the void. Admiral Kazthak stood on the command deck of the Sovereign Claw, his scaled hands clasped behind his back as he studied the holographic display of the unremarkable yellow star and its planets. Another primitive system, he mused, multiple rows of bioluminescent spots along his neck pulsing with mild interest. Preliminary scans. First observer, Ancillarius tendrils danced across the neural interface. Third planet shows signs of civilization, Admiral. Preliminary classification suggests pre-FTL species. Atmosphere heavily polluted with industrial byproducts. Primitive satellite network in orbit. Basic space stations. Standard conquest protocol recommended. The Admiral's spots flickered with amusement. The Drachnid Empire had subjugated hundreds of such worlds. The process was practically routine. Demonstrate overwhelming technological superiority, demand surrender, and integrate the species into the Empire's vast workforce. Those who refused became cautionary tales. Deploy the Herald, he commanded. A single ship, sleek and deadly, detached from the fleet. The Herald would broadcast the Empire's demands and demonstrate their power by neutralizing any military resistance. It was a dance performed countless times across the galaxy. But as the Herald approached Earth's orbit, something unexpected happened. The ship's sensors detected an energy surge, massive, coordinated, and completely unlike anything expected from a pre-FTL civilization. Dozens of hidden satellites shed their disguises, revealing advanced weapon systems. Orbital platforms that had appeared primitive transformed, quantum shields shimming to life around them. On the Herald's bridge, Captain Vexthor's mandibles clicked in surprise. Impossible, he chittered. These readings, they can't be correct. A transmission cut through their communications, bypassing encryptions that had never been breached in the Empire's history. Drachnid vessel, you have entered restricted space. This is humanity's first and only warning. Withdraw immediately. The voice was calm, measured, and carried an undertone that made Vexthor's carapace tingle with ancestral warning signals. This was not the panicked response of a primitive species facing superior technology. This was something else entirely. In the depths of No Ray's Quantum Command Center, Dr. Elena Santos watched the alien ship's approach on displays that officially didn't exist. 20 years of preparing for this moment, of hiding humanity's true technological progress, were about to pay off. They took the bait, she said, dark eyes reflecting the holographic displays. Operation Masquerade holding steady. General Marcus Chen nodded, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of quantum processors. Satellite network responding exactly as designed. All positions optimal. For decades, humanity had maintained a carefully crafted illusion, while publicly struggling with basic rocket technology and showing all the signs of a primitive industrial civilization. They had been preparing. Hidden quantum laboratories, secret space platforms, and technologies that would seem like magic to most of Earth's population, all concealed beneath a veneer of apparent technological infancy. The alien ship held position, clearly confused by the sudden revelation. Its sensors probed Earth's defenses, trying to make sense of technology that shouldn't exist on a pre-FTL world. They're scanning the QED network, reported Lieutenant Sarah Chen, the General's daughter and head of Quantum Defense Systems. Should we show them more? Her father's lips curved in a slight smile. Let's give them something to think about. Sarah's fingers danced across the neural interface, another technology humanity had kept hidden. The Quantum Entanglement Defense Network, or QED, was humanity's masterpiece. Based on principles that most alien civilizations hadn't even theorized, it could transform the very fabric of space around Earth into an impenetrable shield. On the Herald, alarms began blaring. Captain, the sensor officer reported, mandibles trembling. We're detecting. We don't know what we're detecting. Space itself appears to be changing around us. Vexthor watched in growing horror as his ship's advanced sensors tried to make sense of what they were seeing. The humans weren't just defending their space, they were rewriting its rules. Back in the fleet, Admiral Kazthax received the Herald's increasingly panicked reports with growing concern. This was unprecedented. In all his centuries of conquest, he had never encountered a species that had so completely hidden their true capabilities. More vessels emerging from lunar shadow. Anxulera reported, her usual calm shaken. Design unlike anything in our database. Energy signatures. Impossible energy signatures. The human ships were beautiful in their strangeness. Where Drachnid vessels were crystalline and geometric, these were organic curves melded with impossible angles. They moved in ways that suggested either complete mastery of gravity or its total irrelevance. Dr. Santos allowed herself a moment of pride as she watched the alien fleet's confusion. The ships now emerging from behind Earth's moon were her life's work. Hybrid vessels combining conventional technology with quantum engineering. They were ugly by traditional standards, looking more like abstract sculptures than spacecraft, but they represented humanity's greatest achievement, the ability to think beyond conventional limitations. "They're powering up weapons," Sarah reported, her voice steady despite the tension. "Let them," General Chen replied. Time they learned about our other surprises. The Herald fired first, a plasma lance that should have vaporized one of the human vessels. Instead, the energy seemed to flow around the ship like water, collected by quantum sinks that humans had perfected through decades of secret research. "Return fire?" Sarah asked, fingers hovering over the controls. "Not yet," her father replied. Dr. Santos. Elena nodded, entering a complex sequence into her console. Quantum mirror engaging. The collected energy from the Herald's attack suddenly reversed course, transformed by principles that would have seemed like sorcery to most species. The alien ship barely had time to register what was happening before its own weapon's energy washed over its shields. On the Sovereign Claw, Admiral Kazthax watched the impossible unfold. The Herald's shields held, but the message was clear. Humanity hadn't just prepared for first contact, they had revolutionized warfare while pretending to be primitive. "Signal the Herald to withdraw," he commanded, his spots now pulsing with rapid concern. Full fleet analysis required. As the Herald retreated, another transmission reached the Drachnid fleet. "Consider this a demonstration of restraint, not limitation. We have watched the stars for centuries, preparing, waiting. We know of your empire. We know of your conquests. We chose to appear weak while growing strong. Remember this day, Admiral Kazthax. Remember that humanity offered you the chance to withdraw before learning exactly what we're capable of." The transmission ended, leaving the Drachnid command staff in stunned silence. For the first time in living memory, the Empire faced not just resistance, but the possibility that they had severely underestimated their opponents. In the Quantum Command Center, Elena watched the alien fleet's confusion with mixed emotions. "Think they got the message?" "They will," General Chen replied. "And when they return, and they will return, they'll find we have even more surprises waiting." Sarah studied the retreating Herald. "We just changed everything, didn't we? The galaxy's power structure, the Empire's dominance." "We did," her father agreed. "But more importantly, we showed them something they've never seen before. A species that chose to appear weak while growing strong. That's going to terrify them more than any weapon." As the Drachnid fleet began their withdrawal, humanity's hidden sentinels remained vigilant. The first battle in a new age of galactic politics had ended without destruction, but with something perhaps more significant: the shattering of an empire's certainties. And in secure facilities around the world, humans continued their work, developing technologies that would make even today's revelations seem primitive. They had prepared for this moment not just with weapons and shields, but with a fundamental understanding that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to surprise, adapt, and overcome. The game had changed, and the galaxy would never be the same. Admiral Kazthax stood before the Drachnid High Command, his bioluminescent spots dim with the gravity of his report. The vast chamber, carved from living crystal aboard the Empire's capital ship, amplified every word to the assembled war council. "The humans deceived us," he stated, mandibles clicking with controlled fury. For centuries, they maintained a facade of primitive technology, while developing capabilities that rival or exceed our own. The chamber erupted in chittering protests. High Commander Zextal raised a clawed hand for silence. "Explain these capabilities," she demanded, her ancient carapace gleaming under the crystalline lights. As Kazthax detailed humanity's quantum technology deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, humanity was unveiling another layer of their defenses. The Atlantis complex, hidden beneath 3 miles of water, housed Earth's most ambitious project yet. Dr. Elena Santos stood in the facility's central chamber, surrounded by technology that would seem impossible to most of Earth's population. "Quantum grid status?" she asked, watching as engineers made final adjustments to the planetary defense system. "Grid nodes 1 through 40 responding perfectly," Sarah Chen reported from her station. The quantum grid was a network of submersed facilities around the globe, capable of generating a field that could alter the fundamental properties of spacetime around Earth. "They'll be back," General Chen said, studying the holographic display showing the retreating Drachnid fleet. "And this time, they'll bring their full might." Elena nodded. "Then it's time to wake the sleepers." Throughout human history, certain technological breakthroughs had been kept hidden, their developers sworn to secrecy. The sleepers were the culmination of this strategy. Quantum AI systems that had been processing and developing defensive technologies for decades, all while remaining completely isolated from any network that could be detected. In a classified facility beneath the Antarctic ice, Dr. James Rodriguez initiated the awakening sequence. The sleepers were humanity's ultimate think tank, artificial intelligences that had spent years analyzing alien technology, developing countermeasures, and designing weapons that even their creators barely understood. "Sleeper 1 coming online," he reported through the quantum-encrypted channel. "Beginning data integration." The AI's first words scrolled across secure screens around the world. "Analyzing DGAR 8K NANID TECHNOOG. Vulnerabilities DTCTD. Initiating COUNTRLEAS URE protocols." Meanwhile, in high orbit, Commander Maya Patel watched as the orbital defense platforms continued their transformation. What had appeared to be simple communication satellites now revealed their true nature. Autonomous weapon platforms combining human ingenuity with AI-designed quantum technology. "Station Sierra 7, fully operational," she reported. "Quantum shielding at maximum efficiency." The stations were humanity's first line of defense, capable of intercepting and redirecting any energy weapon the Drachnids might deploy. Back in the Drachnid fleet, First Observer Anksulera made a disturbing discovery. "Admiral," she reported, her tendrils writhing with anxiety. "Analysis of human communication patterns suggests they knew of our existence long before we arrived. They've been studying us, preparing specifically for our tactics." Kazthax felt an unfamiliar sensation. Fear. The humans hadn't just hidden their technology. They had been watching, learning, and developing countermeasures to Drachnid warfare for generations. In the Atlantis complex, Elena reviewed the sleepers' initial analysis. "They've identified 3 major vulnerabilities in Drachnid shield technology," she announced to the assembled command staff. "Their crystalline ships are particularly susceptible to quantum resonance." "Can we exploit this?" General Chen asked, studying the complex diagrams the AI had generated. "Better," Elena replied, a slight smile playing across her features. "We already have. Those sensor ghosts they detected during their retreat. Quantum resonance markers. We've tagged their entire fleet. We can track them anywhere in the galaxy." Sarah's eyes widened as she understood the implications. "We're not just defending Earth. We're preparing to take the fight to them if necessary." Humanity has spent centuries playing the long game, her father replied. We watched other species fall to the Empire. We learned from their mistakes. While they saw us as primitive, we were building something they never expected, a defense that could become an offense. In Antarctica, the sleepers continued their analysis, processing centuries of accumulated data about Drachnid technology. Each second brought new insights, new weaknesses to exploit, new strategies to deploy. Dr. Rodriguez watched in amazement as the AI systems developed increasingly sophisticated countermeasures. They're not just analyzing current Drachnid technology, he reported. They're predicting how the Empire will try to adapt and developing counters to technologies that don't even exist yet. The Atlantis complex hummed with activity as humanity's hidden strengths were finally unleashed. Quantum computers processed battle scenarios. AI systems designed new weapons, and engineers prepared defenses that would make Earth not just impregnable, but deadly to any who threatened it. Commander Patel's orbital platforms continued their silent watch, their quantum sensors extending far beyond the solar system. Movement detected at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, she reported. Multiple ships entering the system. Not the Drachnids, Elena observed, studying the sensor data. Different configuration entirely. The new arrivals were massive ships of biological construction, utterly alien in design. For a moment, tension filled the command center, until a transmission reached them on frequencies that hadn't been used in decades. Earth Command, this is the Arcturus Collective. We've been watching. Perhaps it's time we had a conversation about the future of galactic politics. General Chen exchanged looks with Elena. The arrival of the Collective, another power that had apparently been watching and waiting, added a new dimension to the coming conflict. Humanity hadn't just revealed itself as a technological power, they had inadvertently positioned Earth as a pivot point in galactic politics. Interesting timing, Sarah observed. Think they were waiting to see how we handled the Drachnids. Of course they were, her father replied. And now they know exactly what we've been hiding. The question is, are they here as potential allies, or are they trying to gauge if we're a threat to them as well? As the collective ships maintained their respectful distance, humanity's hidden defenders remained vigilant. The next few hours would determine whether Earth had gained powerful allies or faced a new threat. Either way, humanity was ready. They had spent centuries preparing not just for the Drachnids, but for any possibility the galaxy might throw at them. The game of galactic politics was changing, and humanity had just revealed itself as a master player. The only question was, how would their opponents adapt to this new reality? The Arcturus Collective's ambassador, a being of flowing plasma contained within an intricate crystalline shell, hovered in the Atlantis complex's diplomatic chamber. Its voice resonated through the quantum translation field. We have watched humanity's development with great interest. Your species' ability to hide such advancement. Unprecedented. Dr. Elena Santos studied the ambassador's ever-shifting form. You knew about us all along. We suspected. The ambassador's harmonics shifted to indicate amusement. Your deception was masterful, but we noticed the quantum fluctuations from your experiments. We chose to wait, to see how you would handle the Empire's inevitable arrival. General Chen's expression remained neutral. And now that you've seen our response. Now, the ambassador's form brightened. We propose an alliance. The Drachnid Empire returns with their main fleet. Our intelligence suggests they've activated the World Breaker. The room fell silent. The World Breaker, the Empire's planet-destroying flagship, had ended civilizations. Its very name was used to ensure compliance across countless star systems. In high orbit, Commander Patel's quantum sensors detected the first signs of the Empire's return. Massive fleet movements at the edge of monitored space, far larger than their initial force. But humanity was ready. Sarah Chen's fingers danced across her control interface. Quantum grid fully operational. Sleeper predictions indicate their fleet will arrive in 3 standard days. Dr. Rodriguez's voice came through the quantum link from Antarctica. Sleepers have completed their analysis. The World Breaker uses crystalline technology similar to their smaller ships, just on a massive scale. Its weakness is its strength. The entire ship is one giant crystal matrix. Elena's eyes lit up with understanding. Perfect for quantum resonance disruption. The next 3 days saw feverish preparation. The Arcturus Collective shared their knowledge of Drachnid fleet movements, while humanity unveiled more of their hidden technologies. Orbital platforms shifted position, guided by sleeper-optimized algorithms. The quantum grid hummed with power as new frequencies were added to its defensive matrix. When the Drachnid fleet emerged from hyperspace, they'd brought enough firepower to reduce a dozen worlds to ash. The World Breaker hung at the fleet's center like a crystalline star, its faceted surface reflecting the light of Sol in dazzling patterns. Admiral Kazthak stood on its command deck, his spots pulsing with anticipation. "Send the message," he ordered. "Surrender or be destroyed." The response came instantly, a synchronized quantum pulse from Earth's defense grid that made every crystalline ship in the Drachnid fleet ring like cosmic wind chimes. It wasn't an attack. It was a demonstration. "Impossible," Anxulera whispered, her tendrils coiling in distress. "They've mapped our entire fleet's resonance frequencies." In the Atlantis complex, Elena watched the Drachnid fleet's reaction. "Sleepers confirm quantum lock on all targets," she reported. Phase 1 complete. The World Breaker fired first, its main crystal focusing enough energy to shatter a planet. The beam struck Earth's quantum shield and simply vanished, redirected through carefully crafted space-time folds to emerge behind the Drachnid fleet, destroying 3 of their own support ships. "Return fire," General Chen ordered calmly. Humanity's counterattack demonstrated decades of preparation. Quantum resonance waves swept through the divided Drachnid fleet, causing crystalline structures to vibrate at their breaking point. Ships didn't explode. They shattered, breaking apart along crystal planes as their own technology was turned against them. The World Breaker proved more resilient, its massive crystal matrix absorbing the initial attacks. But the humans had planned for this too. The quantum drones swarmed around it, each one generating a precise resonance frequency, building a symphony of destruction. "Fascinating," the Arcturus ambassador observed. "You're not just destroying their ships, you're demonstrating the complete neutralization of their technology." Elena nodded. "A message to the entire galaxy. Crystalline technology, the backbone of their empire, can be defeated." On the World Breaker's command deck, Admiral Kazthak watched in horror as his fleet was systematically dismantled, not through superior firepower, but through perfect understanding of their fundamental technology. The humans hadn't just prepared defenses, they had developed a complete counter to the Empire's entire technological base. "Full retreat," he ordered, his spots nearly black with shock. "Get us out of this system." But retreat wasn't simple. The quantum fields had trapped them in bubbles of altered space-time. Each ship had to be precisely extracted from these pockets, a process that left them vulnerable to the swarming quantum drones and precision strikes from Earth's defense platforms. The World Breaker's crystal matrix began to crack under the sustained resonance attack. Hairline fractures appeared across its surface, spreading like a crystalline web of doom. "Admiral," Anxulera reported, her voice trembling, "the humans are broadcasting on all frequencies. They're sharing the resonance frequencies of our technology with everyone, not just our current configurations, but the underlying principles." In that moment, Kazthak understood the true magnitude of humanity's victory. They weren't just defeating the Empire's fleet, they were undermining the very foundation of their technological supremacy. The World Breaker, pride of the Empire, shattered into 1 billion crystalline fragments, each piece reflecting the light of humanity's triumph. The remaining Drachnid ships fled in disarray, their retreat covered by the Arcturus Collective ships as a show of good faith in the new alliance. In the aftermath, as the quantum fields dissipated and the drones returned to their stations, General Chen turned to the Arcturus ambassador. "You knew this would happen. That's why you waited to contact us." The ambassador's plasma form swirled in patterns of acknowledgement. We suspected humanity would either fall or become something new, a force capable of reshaping galactic politics. We are pleased with the outcome. Sarah studied the sensor readings of the retreating Drachnid ships. They'll adapt, try to develop new technology. Let them, Elena replied. The sleepers are already predicting their next moves, developing countermeasures to technologies they haven't even invented yet. Today wasn't just a victory, it was a revolution in galactic warfare. As debris from the shattered world breaker continued to rain across space like a crystal meteor shower, humanity had sent its message to the galaxy. Earth was not just another world to be conquered. It was a civilization that had spent centuries preparing, watching, and developing in secret. The age of Drachnid dominance was over. A new era of galactic politics had begun, with humanity emerging not just as defenders of their own world, but as architects of a new galactic order. News of the world breaker's destruction spread across the galaxy like a quantum shockwave. In the Drachnid Empire's capital system, the High Command faced an unprecedented crisis. Their invincible fleet had been shattered, their supreme weapon destroyed, and their core technology compromised. High Commander Zextol's ancient carapace showed signs of stress as she addressed the Emergency Council. The humans didn't just defeat our fleet, they exposed our fundamental weakness to the entire galaxy. Already, 3 systems have declared independence. But in the shadows of the Drachnid throne world, something stirred. Deep in forgotten archives, ancient technologies awakened, contingencies created for a disaster no one had thought possible. Back on Earth, humanity prepared for the Empire's inevitable response. In the Atlantis complex, Dr. Elena Santos studied data streams from quantum sensors reaching across the galaxy. They're activating something, she reported. Something old. The Arcturus ambassador's plasma form pulsed with concern. We're detecting massive energy signatures from the Empire's core worlds. Technology that doesn't match their known capabilities. Sarah Chen's quantum displays lit up with warnings. Whatever they're awakening, it's affecting space-time itself. The sleepers are having trouble predicting its behavior. In Antarctica, Dr. Rodriguez watched as the quantum AIs struggle to analyze the new threat. The technology appears to predate the Empire itself, he reported. It's not crystalline-based. This is something else entirely. The first sign of the Empire's new weapon came as a ripple through spacetime. Quantum sensors across Earth's defense network flickered and failed. The carefully constructed grid of altered space began to unravel. They're not just countering our technology, Elena realized, watching as decades of preparation seemed to crumble. They're changing the fundamental rules we built our defenses on. Commander Patel's orbital platforms detected it first. A tear in space itself, a wound in reality that leaked something ancient and terrible. Through this breach emerged a ship unlike anything humanity had encountered. Not crystalline, not metal, but something that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. By the stars, the Arcturus ambassador whispered, its plasma form dimming. The Void Architects. The Empire has awakened the Void Architects. General Chen's expression remained stoic. Explain. Before the Empire used crystal technology, before they became conquerors, they were different. The legends speak of their ability to shape reality itself. We thought this knowledge was lost. The void ship hung in space like a nightmare-given form, its geometry impossible to comprehend with human eyes. Where it moved, physics itself seemed to protest, quantum fields twisting and failing. But humanity had one final card to play. In a secret facility beneath the Mariana Trench, deeper even than the Atlantis complex, Dr. Elena Santos accessed humanity's ultimate contingency. Initiating Protocol Omega, she announced over the quantum link, awakening the bridge. For centuries, while humanity had presented a facade of primitive technology to the galaxy, they had been working on something far more ambitious than mere quantum manipulation. They had been building a bridge between realities. The sleepers had discovered it decades ago. the possibility that consciousness itself was a quantum phenomenon, one that could be extended beyond normal spacetime. The bridge was the result, a machine that could tap into the collective consciousness of humanity, channeling it into a force that could reshape reality. As the void ship began its attack, tearing apart Earth's quantum defenses like paper, the bridge activated. Billions of human minds, unknowingly connected through quantum entanglement, suddenly focused their collective will through the machine. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Where the void ship created chaos, human consciousness imposed order. Where it tried to unravel reality, humanity's collective will reinforced it. Sarah Chen watched in awe as new patterns formed in her quantum displays. The bridge, it's not just defending us. It's teaching us. We're learning how to manipulate reality at the same level as the void architects. The void ship's attack faltered as it encountered something it had never faced before. A species that could adapt and learn at a fundamental level, using the combined power of billions of conscious minds. In orbit, Commander Patel's platforms began to transform again, incorporating the new understanding into their structure. The quantum drones evolve, their programming rewriting itself based on humanity's expanding consciousness. The Arcturus ambassador's plasma form pulsed with amazement. You didn't just prepare technology, it realized. You prepared your entire species, connected them in ways we never imagined possible. Elena nodded. The bridge was always our true defense. Quantum technology, the sleepers, even our deception. They were just buying time until we could unlock humanity's real potential. The void ship launched another attack, trying to erase a portion of Earth from reality itself. But where its power touched, it encountered not just technology, but the focused will of billions of human minds. The attack didn't just fail, it was absorbed, understood, and turned back upon itself. In the Drachnid Empire's capital, High Commander Zextal received the impossible report. The void ship, their ultimate weapon, wasn't just being defeated. It was being comprehended, its ancient secrets unraveled by the collective consciousness of humanity. Impossible, she chittered. No species can evolve this quickly. But humanity wasn't just evolving. They were revealing a potential that had always existed, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The bridge had turned humanity itself into a weapon, a force that could match and exceed even the legendary void architects. As the void ship retreated, its impossible geometry stumbling through spacetime, humanity's consciousness followed. Through the bridge, they reached out across the galaxy, touching other minds, sharing their understanding. We're not just defending Earth anymore, Sarah realized. We're changing the very nature of consciousness in the galaxy. General Chen watched as the void ship fled, leaving behind a galaxy forever altered. The Empire thought they were awakening an ancient power, he mused. Instead, they forced us to reveal our true nature. The bridge hummed with the power of billions of connected minds, each contributing to humanity's expanding understanding of reality. They had moved beyond mere quantum manipulation, beyond even the legendary powers of the void architects. They had become something new, a species that could tap into the fundamental consciousness of the universe itself. And in doing so, they had changed the rules of not just warfare, but existence itself. The Drachnid Empire's throne world hung like a fractured jewel in space, its crystalline cities reflecting the light of 3 suns. But beneath its glittering surface, panic spread through the ancient halls of power. The impossible had happened, not just defeat, but transformation. High Commander Zextal stood before the Imperial Council, her carapace dulled with stress. The humans have achieved what we thought impossible. They've not only matched the void architect's power, they've transcended it. Through the bridge, humanity watched this discussion in real time, billions of connected minds extending their awareness across the galaxy. Dr. Elena Santos, her consciousness both in the Mariana Trench facility and everywhere at once, observed the Empire's desperate deliberations. They're calling for a final solution, she reported to the Unified Earth Command. They would rather destroy themselves than adapt. The Arcturus ambassador's plasma form swirled with concern. The Empire's core worlds contained technology that could tear the galaxy apart. If they choose self-destruction, General Chen, his consciousness similarly extended through the bridge, understood the implications. Then we need to show them another way. The bridge hummed with the combined will of humanity. What had started as a defense mechanism had evolved into something far more profound. A way to touch not just space and time, but the very consciousness of other species. Sarah Chen, monitoring the quantum streams, detected the shift first. "They're activating everything," she reported. "All their remaining void ships, their crystal tech, even prototype weapons we've never seen." But humanity was no longer bound by traditional limitations of space, time, or perception. Through the bridge, they reached out not with weapons, but with understanding. Billions of human minds touched the consciousness of the drachnid species, sharing not just knowledge, but experience. The effect rippled through the Empire. In an instant, every drachnid connected to their technology experienced a moment of human consciousness. They felt the centuries of preparation, the patient waiting, the unified purpose that had driven humanity to this point. In the Imperial Palace, High Commander Zextal gasped as the experience washed over her. For the first time, she understood what her empire faced, not just a technologically advanced species, but one that had evolved beyond the need for traditional power structures. The void ships, preparing for their final attack, faltered as their pilots experienced this connection. The crystal cities of the throne world resonated with a new frequency, the harmonic of shared consciousness. Commander Patel's orbital platforms around Earth transformed one final time, becoming nodes in a galaxy-wide network of shared experience. The quantum drones evolved beyond their original purpose, becoming conduits for consciousness itself. Dr. Rodriguez, monitoring the sleepers in Antarctica, watched as the AI systems integrated with this new reality. "They're not just predicting anymore," he reported. "They're participating in the galactic consciousness." The Arcturus ambassador, its plasma form pulsing with excitement, addressed the Earth. Through the bridge, humanity offered the drachnids a choice, not surrender, but transformation. The ability to retain their identity while joining a larger consciousness, to evolve beyond the limitations of their crystalline technology and void architecture. In the Imperial Palace, Zextal made her decision. "We built our empire on the belief that power came from control," she addressed her council. "The humans have shown us that true power comes from connection." The response rippled through drachnid society. Crystals that had been used for weapons became conduits for consciousness. Void ships transformed into bridges between minds. The empire that had sought to conquer the galaxy instead became part of its awakening. Dr. Elena Santos, her consciousness spanning light years, felt the change. "They're accepting the connection," she reported. "Not just the drachnids, but species throughout the galaxy." The bridge, humanity's ultimate achievement, had become something far greater than a weapon. It was a doorway to a new stage of galactic evolution, where consciousness flowed freely between species and the boundaries between civilizations blurred. Sarah Chen watched as the quantum displays showed not weapon signatures or defense grids, but the flowing patterns of connected minds across the galaxy. "What do we do now?" she asked her father. General Chen smiled. "Now we learn. We grew strong by watching and waiting. Imagine what we can become by sharing and connecting." The Arcturus Collective, their plasma-based consciousness uniquely suited to this new reality, joined the growing network of galactic minds. Other species, watching from the shadows as humanity had once done, began to emerge, adding their unique perspectives to the collective experience. In the depths of space, the void ships that had once threatened reality became guardians of this new consciousness, their impossible geometry now serving to bridge gaps between different forms of thought and being. The bridge hummed with the power of not just billions, but trillions of connected minds, each maintaining their uniqueness while contributing to a greater whole. Humanity had prepared for war, but had instead created harmony, not through conquest or submission, but through understanding and growth. Admiral Kazfax, watching from his remaining flagship as his empire transformed, finally understood the truth. The humans hadn't just been hiding their technology. They had been preparing to shepherd the galaxy into a new age. The last crystal cities of the Drachnid throne world shifted, their structures realigning to channel consciousness rather than power. The empire that had sought to conquer the galaxy had instead become part of its transcendence. And in the Mariana Trench facility, Dr. Elena Santos looked upon their creation with wonder. "We spent centuries preparing for war," she mused, only to discover we were actually preparing for evolution. The bridge pulsed with the combined consciousness of countless species, each adding their own unique perspective to the galactic mind. Humanity had not just changed the rules of warfare or politics, they had transformed the very nature of existence in the galaxy. The age of empires was over. The age of unified consciousness had begun. And humanity, the species that had hidden its true nature for so long, now stood revealed as not just warriors or defenders, but as guides to a new form of existence. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had been preparing for all along.